1, 2, 3. All right, we're synced up like a dang monthly drip. Is there another word for monthly? Like yearly, there's annually, and then like every 100 years, it's centennially, or biannually, or triannually, or there's even quarterly. There's quarterly every 3 months. Math. That's quarterly. Wait. Is biannual is every other year? So what's mid and mid halfly? There's no halfly. There's no every 6 months. There's no halfly. But there's quarterly. But no halfly. There's got to be a word for monthly. Every moon cycle. That's not even of the same language. I should get smarter. Well, hello, and welcome to I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit. I'm your host, Carter Dockerty. Thanks for joining me. It might look like I'm being kidnapped because I'm in a gross basement, but this is where I'm living. This is my humble abode for the month of October while I'm here in New York City. So I'm still here in New York. I've been here since the last episode. And in the last episode I recorded, I didn't know where I was, and one commenter let me know I was on a handball court. Thank you, Madeline. I was on a handball court, and I've been here for 3 weeks now. I've been walking around. So many handball courts. Every park has got a handball court in it. And in those 3 weeks, probably seen a dozen or so handball courts. Not a single handball game. Riddle me that. What's all these courts for? And the apartment I'm in, I'm sharing with my good buddy John Brown, and he is in his dormitory bedroom quarters, bringing back to quarters. Quarterly, maybe it could be bedroomly. You ever think about that? So he's in his bedroom doing his work right now. He's probably gonna come out and he's gonna look at me and he's gonna be like, "What is this? What is this guy doing?" And I'm yelling into the void. That's what I'm doing. Yelling into the void. Thank you guys for listening to I Don't Want to Be a Piece of Shit. I still don't want to be one. But, these episodes used to... I feel as though I've done a lot of work. And now I'm just chilling, going through life. And a year ago when I started this, I could feel a lot of anger. And, not even anger, just, I guess anger. I would get annoyed at something and kind of go off and be able to... I just would be able to be mad about stuff that's happening to me. And that's kind of how every episode would go. I would be like, can you fucking believe it? And then this shit... And now when I do these episodes, I'm like, God, I just don't even care. And I have this detachment, and I hope it's not... I hope it's good. Because I like being detached from stuff right now. I'm not kind of caring about the things that are happening to me. But I still... Now I'm struggling to find purpose, because I used to kind of be so attached to who I was. I was like, you can't be such a piece of shit, and you gotta make it in comedy. Those are the two things that are kind of fueling me. And obviously I still feel that overwhelming don't be a piece of shit thing. Kinda. It's definitely not as much as it used to be. And I think that desire to be less of a piece of shit was always fueled out of self-hatred. I'm like, you just can't be this guy. And I don't hate myself as much now. And so I'm like, you don't need to change. But you do still need to change. I'm struggling to find a reason for a lot of I get bursts of motivation for things like stand up and my life pursuit. And then they just kind of fade away, and then I get strong bursts, and then they kind of fade away and tingle. And it's annoying when you make your identity this pursuit, but sometimes you don't have the same motivation that you do before. Because sometimes I'm all about wanting to be this idea of me. I'm all about wanting to be a good stand-up comedian and being a good stand-up guy. But right now, I don't really feel the fuel, like, and especially that's a bad thing to have when you're in New York City. I'm just not really that motivated to be writing or creating. And then I'm not even that motivated to be like doing like the self-improvement type shit, like working out and meditating and reading and being educated. A lot of this shit, I just don't even know where to start. I used to feel like I was smart, you know? And I think where this overwhelming feeling that I'm getting of not knowing what I'm doing with my life is kind of coming from where we are as a society right now. I just feel I'm in the middle of New York where this big mayoral election's happening. And I feel like I keep getting myself caught in between a lot of discussions just where that's kind of everybody's main focus right now is on society at large. And when people start to talk right now, I remember in high school, I used to watch so many YouTube videos that were just plugging my freaking brain with facts. I knew so many facts that I could hit people with, and now I don't know anything. I literally know nothing. And everybody's arguing about things like the I don't know. In New York, people are talking about the mayoral election, but the fucking society at large, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I know nothing. And it's annoying because I don't feel like I should need to. Now this is white privilege talking, where I get the benefit of the doubt of. If I don't pay attention, my life is more chill. But like I go on, I open my phone and I just scroll for a while, and all it does is tell me a lot of different things. Like I get, I know according to everything, I'm supposed to not like Israel. So I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be pro-Palestine. That's what my Instagram algorithm's telling me right now. And it's also telling me Trump's bad, which I know. I know all this stuff, but it's just weird how it's coming out in my algorithm. Like, this is like a year ago of why I deleted TikTok, but I was scrolling and I'm getting a lot of pro-Palestine stuff, and I'm liking it and I'm sharing it, and then I get this one TikTok randomly it's just a black and white photo of Adolf Hitler doing the dang salute, and the audio is just a Hitler speech, him screaming and then freaking 250,000 likes on that thing, and all the comments are just like, now we see why Hitler had his vision, and I'm like, what the you start liking pro-Palestine stuff, and then it starts to try to veer into that, and you're like, what? How does that? Because now I'm getting like a little bit of a tamer version of that, but I scroll on Instagram and I'm like getting a lot of Trump's involved with big tech and anti-Israel stuff, and then I'm getting freaking Nick Fuentes on my timeline now, and then I'm scrolling through. And the problem is like the way that they're showing it to me. I know, like from what people say, Nick Fuentes. I have literally know nothing. I know nothing, but I know that guy's a Nazi. Like that's what they say, he's a Nazi. And then my algorithm just shows me these little clips, and then the things that he's saying in those clips that I'm being shown are the same things that like the other side says, like, we can't support Israel, we can't. But then it figures out how to show it to me to where you're like, how can everybody hate on this Nick Fuentes guy? And then you start devolving into a friggin', I don't know, you start believing everything. So what I think I really should do is put my phone underneath a X-Acto thing and just slice it in half, and then paint my face and run out into the woods and try to live off of like dandelion roots. Because then, if I do that, then I can't be brainwashed and propagandized. I can only eat dandelions, and that sounds a little better. Because I'm too dumb. I'm too dumb to exist in this world. And so right now, especially since I have this, like, I feel like I love stand-up, but I'm just viewing a lot of unhealthy attachment to it, and I don't know anybody that has an attachment to stand-up comedy in a healthy way where it kind of benefits their life. Now, it does benefit me. I view it through this lens of, you got to have a thing. You got to have a thing that you're working on. If you don't, then what are you going to do every day? You're just kind of bullshitting. So I use stand-up as, like, this is my... Every day I kind of work towards improving this, building it as a thing. And then it gets me out every night. It gets me community. It gets me purpose. And it drives forward the plot that we call life. I go and I do a stand-up show at night, and then the adventure ensues from there, and then the drive is to go, well, where am I going to go next? It takes me traveling. I love that. And then I love the actual thing itself. I love getting attention. That's why I do this. That's why I do this for 80 viewers. But I appreciate it really. Somehow the podcast, even though it's like so insignificant in terms of the things that I do, it is the most fulfilling thing because there's actual like constant feedback from it. So I do appreciate this, but I think I have a healthy attachment currently to stand-up, but I'm not feeling a lot of motivation towards the art itself currently, and I wish that was okay. I wish it was okay to just be like, I kind of want to just do the same jokes I've been doing and having fun with it, but then you start to feel like a phony and like you're not actually, I don't know, progressing in this whole thing. But I've been having fun. New York's going all right. Doing a lot of stand-up. I mean, kinda. I'm mostly like hanging out at shows. But I've been performing. I did a show on Friday out in Long Island. That was cool. And I did a little bit of crowd work, and then I got a follow from one of the ladies that I did a crowd work on, and by God, she was stunning. And so I sent a DM. And I said, you were that lady? And she said, I was. And then I asked her to dinner. Then she said, that would be lovely. And I was like, oh, okay. And that was planned for tonight. And as I was getting ready to record this podcast, got hit with a DM. Feeling a little bit crunky today, and I'm pretty busy. God. I wish shit like that didn't. I don't think you're ever gonna hit a point in life where that stuff doesn't affect you, because it's like so little and minute. Like it really, it's a thing that didn't exist, and so now it's still not existing. But I'm like, man, I was truly pumped on it for like a whole 24 hours, where I was like. You're the man. This is gonna. It's so sick that you accomplished the thing that you want to. Oh man. And then the cancellation. You're like, you're back. You're worthless, man. You're back to zero. I don't really feel that way, but I am bummed. Now I got to make new plans tonight. God. But yeah, I use stand-up as a driver to try to like go on dates. I'm not trying to use stand-up to get laid. It's not a good route, especially if you're a guy like me. But I like it that it moves life forward. Because what else would you do? Friggin' work at a gas station. I guess you can still have life go forward in that way. I don't know. People find enlightenment. People found enlightenment during the Holocaust, I think. So maybe I can't be like all woe is me. But man, I was really excited for that date. It was like the first time I asked a person to dinner. Even though that was going to cost me like a damn arm and a leg in New York, I am saving quite a bit of money. And then I even hit her. Never mind. Going too much into it. Who cares? Nobody cares about that. What do people care about? I don't know. I'm starting to build up a lot of anxiety. I feel like I went to that meditation retreat and got pretty clear-headed, but I've started to get pretty anxious about the state of the world because I know nothing, so it seems all so scary. And then, like, I don't know, people I know are starting to get arrested by ICE randomly, and like they're wearing masks. And then like people in my family are all like super supportive of it. And you're just like I don't know. Like I talked to my stepdad who was really close with at a certain point, and he just the things that he says are like you just start to hear people that believe the same thing all start to use the same language when discussing topics, and you're like, well, why are you using that word? You heard that word from somewhere, so they're all getting the words from the same source. The big thing, like, and it's frustrating because I don't want to. I'll get fucking. I don't know who listens to this, but I'll get canceled. Like, my stepdad talks about like this thing called black fatigue. And it's interesting, last time I went home, I heard my stepdad talk about it, and then I heard my best friend's dad use the same phrase called black fatigue. And what it is they see these videos on Twitter, and it's of people in the hood acting pretty ghetto and like stealing from stores or like yelling at a cashier or something. And they repost it, and they just, all the comments are like black fatigue, and they use this phrase over and over. But I know that these people are so plugged into this online world because they're using those phrases. And now, like, it's just full cultural disconnect. But I do go like, I don't know, all I've done is live in the hood in cities. And I've grew up in the suburbs, and I'm like, well, the way that people treat each other is very different. Because you go to a suburban store, and there's a lady with a shitty haircut asking for the manager, and she'll get mad. But I've also been at like a gas station in the hood where the fucking guy is screaming too, because he doesn't have his ID on him, and they won't sell him backwoods, and he's like, "Who the fuck do you think you are? It's because I'm black." And I'm like, now I think people act inappropriately in all cultures. You can't, but people just view one, and then they're like, "Well, my group doesn't do that," and it's like, "Well, your group does do that too." Everybody acts rude, and everybody acts differently. It just depends on what situation they're in. But I hear my stepdad talk about stuff like that, and then he also talks about like after Charlie Kirk was shot, my stepdad goes, "God, all this is solidified is that I'm fully against the trans community." And I'm like, "What? That's your takeaway?" My takeaway is that Israel did it. Now that's see, this is a fun thing about being a dumb guy in this world, and just getting everything through your Instagram algorithm, is that Instagram is telling me that Israel's doing everything, and that's almost more comforting to believe. I don't have to do any research, but Israel seems objectively bad. So if we can all just put it on them, like if Charlie Kirk was shot by a lapel thing in his mic that was planted by Israel, that's pretty chill and easy to believe, because then we have a big boogeyman. The thing about Israel is that my stepdad is really hyped on it. He's like, they're a beacon of light. They're in the Middle East. They're a democracy, and he brings up arguments that are all true. Like he says, Israel has has Arabs in their government. They have people of the Muslim faith. They have Islamic people in their government. That would never happen under Hamas. And you're like, okay, that might be true. That is factual. You can look that up, and that is true. So you can agree that maybe a Palestinian might have an easier life in Israel than an Israeli person would have in Palestine. But then you're like, but they're genociding the Palestinians. That's how can both those things be true at the same time? And then you look at America, and you're like, America does all this stuff too. But then you can also be like, well, Israel's also the country that ran a pedophile island and compromised all of American politicians by having them bang kids. And then the thing that always makes me interested, like, I guess we're the same society that we've been for 3,000 years. It's just the oligarchs banging kids that control society. But somehow this country that's a beacon of light and is the only true democracy can also be committing a genocide and funding a pedophile island and running a pedophile island just so they can have blackmail on American politicians and control them like little puppets. I guess it's all true. That's what Instagram tells me. So if the Instagram algorithm is telling me all this stuff, it must be true. But then somehow that it's going to tell me all these facts and try to make me agree with Nick Fuentes. And I don't know anything about what he stands for. All I know is that he says the N-word on stuff, and I go, well, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But then there's an old Louis clip where he says the N-word in a set, and it's a pretty funny bit. But then you're like, that's cultural context. I guess it was more okay to do in 2008. I don't know. Who knows? Because I felt like I used to know stuff. I used to. Now I know nothing. I truly know nothing. I think I've broken my brain with maybe weed or something, or all the drugs I've done, or just being constantly, like, on edge. But I try to watch, like, stuff history YouTube videos, breaking shit down. And I follow it, and I go, okay, this all... I don't know. How does everybody know everything now? Everybody I know seems to fucking have it all figured out in terms of what's going on in this world. Everybody knows, and I'm just like, I think, I don't know. I think that they're all pedophiles, right? They're all pedophiles somehow. I don't know a single pedophile. That's false. But I don't know any rich pedophiles. Every pedophile I know is poor. But apparently it's all true. This is going to be really buried. I don't think you can say pedophile this many times in a podcast and have it hit the algo. Although all the algo's telling me about every pedophile fact I know. So yeah, I'm a bit overwhelmed of, like, it just seems as though we're heading towards end times. And maybe that'll actually be more exciting. Because I feel like right now we're like all like, but like to be in the shit, I would like to be in the shit, you know, like friggin' laying down while tracer rounds are flying overhead. Then you can only think about the anxiety of I might die. Right now we're all like, I might lose this comfort. I might die is a... You might be able to find more peace in that. Because right now I'm just waiting for, like, the society that lets me just scroll on my phone, smoke weed, and eat bad food all day. I'm waiting for that to crumble so I can only, like, I have to starve and, like, find a loose calf and suck their teat for nutrient. I'm waiting for that day. Because it seems like it's happening, right? Am I crazy? I know I'm dumb, but I'm not crazy, I think. And I don't know, we're at the point where my mom's posting AI videos of Charlie Kirk flying into heaven. And I'm like, what? Why would you? Who cares? God, but everybody. I'm just glad. I'm glad I got a mom that loves me. I'm glad I got friends that I care about deeply. I'm happy I got a pursuit that it is nice. I think like in life you go through, you start playing sports, and if you're good at sports, you get a lot of positive reinforcement, and you're like, I'm on a good track. And I was always like, okay, like I was decent at wrestling. I was bad at football. I was kind of smart in school, but like I don't think I didn't get enough positive reinforcement with school. But the one thing, the being funny, and this sounds so gay because I'm not even funny on this pod ever. I should work on that. I don't even know who this is for. It's just me going like, what's happening? But the constant reinforcement from stand-up has been so nice that I just go like, I gotta do it because it's the one thing that I do that people go like, you pretty cool what you're doing up there, you know? Like I first started and then like won a contest, and then I kept winning like little level up contests, and then started like getting work, and now I'm like getting. It's just constantly progressed. It felt like I played high school ball. Now I'm playing college ball. Now I'm like getting scouted. You know, it kind of feels like that, and I enjoy that it's given me a path and a trail to follow. So that's nice. I just, I don't know. Maybe I need to start reading shit. I'm reading Huckleberry Finn right now. God, I was reading Huckleberry Finn on the train, and it has illustrations in it. And I was sitting down, and this black lady sat down next to me, and I moved the page over, and it's a really offensive drawing. And I see her look over, and she just gets up and sits across the subway. Now, a lot of times I think I like read too far into things, but I felt pretty bad. But come on, I'm reading a classic. It's Huckleberry Finn. I really don't know what I talked about on the last episode. I might have told that story. Hey, John, you can come out. It's fine. Where am I at? I'm at 27 minutes. Been going for a while. I might have said it in the last one, but did I tell you about how I was reading Huckleberry Finn, and then I was sitting next to a black lady, and it's illustrated, and I turn over to a page, and it's just a really offensive drawing on one page, and she just looks over, and I see her get up and go to the other side of the subway. It's a classic. It's a classic.
You don't have to get the one that's illustrated.
It was the only one. It was a used bookstore. You know, it was like an old copy. I don't know. I guess that's where I'll end this episode. I'm trying to not be a Nazi, but Instagram's telling me to be one. I'm trying to not offend people on the train, but I'm trying to read the classics. I'm trying to not watch any more Nick Fuentes, but he keeps making good points. Guys, I've been Carter Dockerty. I'm trying to not be a piece of shit. Peace.